Hey there, how you doing? It's Tanis here, coming to you from Decide to Thrive, hanging out on the beach on the Sunshine Coast, and it's the end of a year, end of 2016, and tomorrow is, a new year, January 1st, 2017, and there's all sorts of, there can be a lot of hoopla around finishing of a year and the starting of another year, and the whole resolution thing starts kicking in, and wanting change and going into January, and January can be quite a roller coaster because of that. And so I wanted to just spend a little bit of time connecting with you and chatting about that. And what I know for sure is that regardless of how each of us individually feels about kind of ritualizing time markers or holidays or anything else, there is always the opportunity to figure out what works for you and to make the decision to do what works for you. So that's the interesting thing about New Year's, right? So if it works for you to use this particular date in a calendar to reflect on what's been going on in your life, what's working for you, what's not working for you, to celebrate what has happened in your life, to mourn the tough stuff that's happened, and to mine what you've learned from it. Awesome. That's a great opportunity to do that then. If it doesn't, awesome. Do it another time. If setting, there's a beautiful heron over there right now. You're totally not going to be able to see it, but it's way over there. I have a thing for herons. I might have one tattooed on my arm. Anyway, that's kind of cool. Sometimes you might think that things like that happening have meaning. And some of us, that may be very powerful for us to leverage that and move forward with that. And some of us may be like, of course, there's a random bird on the beach, whatever, it doesn't mean anything. Either way, that's fine. Right? And I think that's one of the keys to thriving in our lives, is to tuning into what works for us and for making our choices and taking action according to what works for us. And if whatever you've been doing this past year hasn't been working for you, then this can be an opportunity to look at what you want to shift in this coming year and to do it in a way that it is going to work for you. So if setting resolutions in the past hasn't worked, and yet you'd like to create some shifts, then really getting curious about how that can work for you. One of the things that I think is really powerful in a journey to thriving in our lives is the ability to draw some kind of line in the sand, to pause, and to make a choice on how we're moving forward. So whether that is in a moment when you're really frustrated with something, you can just pause, reflect, choose, move forward. That pause and that choice of how we're going to move forward, that ability to draw that line is key, is totally key. So if December 31st is an opportunity for you to draw a line, to reflect and to choose about how you want to move forward, then awesome. It could be an opportunity that way, right? And to turn it into whatever works for you. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to also thank you for journeying here with me through this year. It's been an incredible year, getting to work with so many of you in person, and then also just sharing this journey live now online with Facebook Live as well. It's been a real honor, and it's a joy, and it's what lights me up. It's what I'm here to do, is to connect with women just like you, and to share this journey and get really curious about what works for us, because my thriving life and your thriving life are two very different lives. And I want to celebrate what works for you and celebrate what works for me and celebrate each of us leaning into those things that work. It's been a great year of learning for me as well on the personal front. I mean, this is all, my life is just a laboratory for all this too, right? And all my girlfriends' lives and all my clients. We're just learning all this stuff together. And I am obsessively researching and doing courses and trainings all the time. and learning more and more about how we shift, and not just in theory the things that are going to support us to have thriving lives, but how do we actually get those happening in our life. So I'm really excited to, especially, with January just being a time that a lot of us are looking at that, then I'm going to be riffing quite a bit on Facebook and, through email with my peeps and wherever, in person at play shops and in upcoming programs. It's going to be a really fun year of exploring that further. So I'm really looking forward to continuing that journey with you, wherever that is, whether it's in your inbox or in Facebook or in person. So keep sharing with me what's working for you and what's not, and what you're yearning for this year, and maybe even just sharing, what's your New Year's rituals, your January rituals, what works for you, what has worked for you, or what are you going to try this year? Anyway, that's it for today. I'm just going to sit and look for some more birds and reflect on the year, and set some really clear intentions for 2017. And one of them is to be here quite often with you. Mwah! Big love to you. Here's to your thriving.